What's up, everyone? This is the God King Lord coming back with part 5. Told you this is going to be a series. Excuse me. But I'm going to replay something because he think he's slick. I want you to hear what he have to say.
And wickedness, man. You know, GoFundMes and stuff like that, man. For every little time that you're going through hell.
Well, wait a minute, dummy. You're getting mad at the GoFundMe, but yet you're not mad about this false tithing doctrine. You're not mad about your Tahar robbing people and lying to people and deceiving them about this tithing doctrine, but you're mad about a stupid-ass GoFundMe? You are a goddamn hypocrite. Folks, I got something to say. If you want something to happen, you say, hey, GoFundMe, go ahead, make it happen. Use GoFundMe. Go ahead. I'm going to start an account myself. I'm going to use a GoFundMe. That's what I'm going to do. You know why? Because GoFundMe is no different from asking people to help you out with a project. That's all it is. But GMS, they want to steal from you, but yet they don't want you asking for help. That's what GoFundMe is. Have people taken advantage of it? Yes, they have taken advantage of it. But this too, if you want to achieve something and you can't go to the bank and get money, go to GoFundMe. Fuck GMS, because GMS said fuck Yahawah because they worship Tahar, because Tahar's lying to them about the tithes.
I want to work on the Sabbath, so I'm going to have to cut my hours. Israel, could y'all please help? That's the type of shit Jake is doing. All right? Now, let's get Mark 12 and 41. It says, and Yahawah sat against the treasury and beheld how people cast money into the treasury, and many that were rich casted much. So here we're looking, all right?
Yeah, many that were rich casted much, but it didn't say many that was rich casting 10% of their income.
Now, they were in the Roman Empire, man. What was the currency? Was the denarius, man. Okay? Now, now this wasn't the only thing that was given, but it's just showing you that there's nothing wrong with it, man.
Nothing wrong with what? This scripture has absolutely nothing to do with tithes, you bastard. It has absolutely nothing to do with tithes. Show me. If this scripture has anything to do with tithes, wouldn't it say mention what Matthew's mentioned? Matthew's 23 mentioned, stupid. When Yahawah said you tithe of your what? Of your mint, of your cumin, of your anise. Then it should say, if this has something to do with tithes, and Yahawah sat over against the treasury and beheld how the people cast tithes money into the treasury, and many that was rich casting much. Wait a minute. Casting much, that's also a cut. Why? Because when it says casting much, it didn't give get specific how much they did. It didn't say they casting much. See, casting in much means that they gave more. They probably gave more than 10%. But here, a widow, I'll let you read it.
You guys ain't in the spirit. It says, so he's...
No, you're Satan. You're in the spirit. You have unclean spirits on you because you're a liar and you're a thief. Just like your daddy Tahar. Stop worshiping Tahar.
Looking at them putting all his money, then it says, and there came a certain poor widow, all right, which when you read about a lot of these stories with women, all right, it's symbolic of the nation of Israel. We're that widow, all right, and we're poor. What did the Lord say in...
No. Because see, the problem that you have with that is that... See, this is how dumb he is. The problem that he has with that, by logic, if we are the widow, and we're the poor ones, then who is this king, or who is these rich people casting in treasury, casting in money in the treasury. They can't be the other nations, because the other nations don't cast in what we cast in, because it's not for them. See, what he just did is created a deception to promote that Pope Adrian's 787 doctrine. Well, it was adopted 774, but it was signed into law as 787 under a white man. That's where the 10% income came from. So when it says, and there came a certain poor widow, and she threw in 2 mites, which makes a farthing, or 2 mites is like a half a penny. It's not a penny, it's a half a penny. And you have to understand, that's also another cut. See how the spirit of Yahawah B'Shem Yahushua is working in me? Because it's bringing logic. It's making you see so many cuts. I'm going to cut what he said again, because these rich men threw in much, right? So if it was tithes, if this was dealing with tithes, then how come this woman couldn't throw it? So this woman didn't tithe. But Yahawah complimented her. Why? And he called unto his disciples and said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that this poor widow hath cast more in than all they which have cast into the treasury. For all they did cast in of their abundance, but she of her want did cast in all that she had, even all her living. Notice Yahushua never said they cast in the abundance of their tithes, neither. GMS is a mess.
In Zephaniah 3 and 10, Zephaniah 3 and 12, it says, For I will leave in the midst of thee an afflicted and poor people, and they shall trust in the name of the Lord. For the remnant of Israel, so the remnant of Israel, the remnant that he's going to use to repopulate the nation of Israel, all right, shall not do iniquity, nor speak lies, nor shall a deceitful tongue be found in their mouth. No guile shall be found in their mouth. This is talking about the elect men, okay?
Well, GMS, you have lied on so many people. You lied on so many people. I've seen it myself. You speak of deceit with this tithing doctrine. You got guile in GMS. I remember I watched a video, forget what it was, but a video where these members of GMS camp was dancing. This guy said they were dancing, and the guy from the camp came over and started dancing with this woman and stuff like that. We have your what is it, Rakal? No, what's his name? Jason Windhorse. They call him Rakal, I think his name is. Dealing with another man's woman, and people brought that to light. See, GMS, the problem that you have is you're no different than the people that you're exposing. You have a lot of stuff that y'all have said. I heard Tahar said years ago when I came into the truth that Nathaniel had Parkinson's. He doesn't have that, so y'all lied. So shut the hell up. You GMS people are so fucking delusional. You think anything that you're doing is righteous when you're not. You're not.
For they shall feed and lie down, and none shall make them afraid. So it says, because they're protected, man. Bold in the word of Yahawah B'Shem Yahushua, okay? It says, I will also leave in the midst of thee an afflicted and poor people, and they shall trust in the name of the Lord. That afflicted and poor people, all right, is likened unto this certain poor widow. And it says,
No, that widow is poor, but that's an actual woman. That's not talking about Israel, fool. And
there came a certain poor widow, and she threw in 2 mites, which make it farthing. Now, what is this 2 mites? All right, lepton. All right, a small brass coin equivalent to the 1/8 part, as worth about 1/5 of a cent. Money. Okay. And we're that afflicted and poor people. Basically, we're giving what we can, man. Just showing our faith. All right. Now,
notice he said that we're given. I'm gonna let him say it one more time. Let me see. Let me go back to here, and let me play it. I want you to listen again to what he said.
Money. Okay. And we're that afflicted and poor people. Basically, we're giving what we can, man. Just showing our faith.
So we're poor people, and we're given when we can give, when we can, because we're showing our faith. When you get 10% of your income and you think that you're tithing, you're showing you're rebellious. You're showing Yahawah that you don't care or give a damn what he says. You're showing Yahawah that you don't care about his laws, statutes, and commandments. That's what you're showing Yahawah. And you're also showing Yahawah that you don't care about being a cheerful giver.
All right? Now, it says, and he came up, and he called unto him his disciples, and said unto them, verily I say unto you, that this poor widow hath cast more in all they which have cast, than all they which have cast into the treasury.
So when he started off, he said, and he called unto him his disciples. Now wait a minute, hold up. So he's calling actual men, his disciples, to tell them that the poor widow, which is an actual woman, cast more in than they, who are the rich people, have cast into the treasury. The widow is not Israel. He lied. The widow is not Israel. How come Yahushua didn't mention any tithing there? Oh, because tithes is not money, GMS, idiot.
He's talking about money. All right? You guys ain't spiritual, man.
And GMS, you ain't in the truth. You're not spiritual. You still have not shown any scripture where tithes is money. And I need you to understand something. This video is about 22 to 23 minutes. 22 to 23 minutes. He talked just a bunch of bullshit and then come and produce not one scripture proving tithes is money.
All right? So, stop, man. It says, for all they did cast in of their abundance, but she of her want did cast in all that she had, even all her living. All right? So she was justified more than the ones that were given all the money. But the bottom line...
Yeah, she was justified, but it wasn't tithes, so you can't justify that. You can't just, once again, GMS is adding to the word. Is GMS account full of Edomites? Because you act just like him.
Mine is, we are that poor widow, man.
No, we're not that poor widow, you dumbass. Because if that was the poor widows, then why is Yahushua speaking to the disciples, you jackass? Huh? How is Yahushua speaking to the disciples about a woman? It called her what? It says widow that which cast into the treasury, for all they did cast in her abundance, but she of her. Man, you know how to butcher scriptures and you know how to lie. But I'm catching you in every single corner. So the poor widow is not us. Because once again, if the poor widow is us, then who the hell is these rich people casting in on their abundance? Who are they? You can't say other nations. You can't prove that. Because no nation tied with Israel. No nation even gave offerings like that. Because why? Psalms 147, 19 to 20. Come on, milk. Dummies.
Pretty much giving our last, man. We don't have anything, man. We don't have any substance. But we do have those 2 pennies, those 2 mites. And we have a whole lot of faith, man. And that took a whole lot of faith for her to give her last, man. And that's what we are to do. We're to make our bodies a living sacrifice. That's really what we're under right now, man. All of you guys try to walk around portraying the law. Look, man, we're not in a position to keep the law 100%, man.
Oh, wait a minute. So if we're not, according to your logic, if we're not in the position to keep the law 100%, then by default, you just confess GMS doesn't have 100% the truth. You don't have 100% the truth. But yeah, you can't keep the law. Yahawah said not to tithe outside of Jerusalem. Anybody tithing anything, let's just say anything, means you're transgressing the law. So if we're not in a position to keep the law 100%, what laws can we keep? Well, I know we can't keep the tithing law because Yahweh's temple is destroyed. And Jerusalem is the only place we were commanded by Yahawah to tithe. Said keeping the law, but yet you're adding to the word. There's a judgment coming to you people in GMS who don't wake the heck up. For real.
We're not in a position to send down cattle and gold and silver and myrrh and frankincense and all of that, man.
I will be back with part 6. This is fun. Time flies when you're having fun.